Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I just wanted to come in and run my mouth and talk about the mess. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, we've already talked about Jay-Z and what the alleged victim accused him and Diddy of doing to her when she was 13 years old. Well, this is an update, and I got a lot to say. Okay. So, this is according to the neighborhood talk. Inconsistencies in the story of the woman who is accusing Jay Z and Diddy of essaying her at 13 years old include saying she spoke to a celeb at the party who wasn't in town, her father not recalling picking her up despite saying he did. My God, today. And Jay Z and Diddy being at different locations. So, neighbors, it's no secret an Alabama woman identified as Jane Doe has filed a lawsuit accusing Jay Z and Diddy of essaying her when she was 13 years old. In an interview with NBC News, she described what she called a catastrophic event, recalling a limo ride to a White House, drinking something that made her disoriented, and an assault by the two men that she says altered her life forever. However, there are some things that didn't make sense. Despite standing by her claims, Jane Doe and her attorneys admitted to inconsistencies in her account. She told NBC News, I have made some mistakes in recalling details from that night 24 years ago, but insisted those errors do not undermine the truth of her allegations. Questions have been raised about some specifics. She said her father picked her up afterward, but he does not recall that. She also claimed she spoke with a celebrity at the after party, but the individual said they were not in New York at the time. Additionally, photos show Jay Z and Diddy at a different location that night. Jay Z denied the allegations, calling them baseless. This incident didn't happen, Carter said in a statement, accusing attorney Tony Busby of filing the lawsuit recklessly. True justice is coming. We fight from victim. I'm sorry. We fight from victory, not for victory. We fight from victory, not for victory. Listen, I'll start off by saying this. I do understand that if someone is claiming to have been um, drugged, D, I said deed, D, and they may not recall, or if they were slipped a Mickey or an alcoholic beverage and they just were filthy drunk, I can understand how they may not recall every single detail that happened to them, right? So there could be some inconsistencies, especially if you were under the influence. I am of the belief that if an alleged victim, and I have said this numerous times on my channel, if an alleged victim is found to be telling a lie, they should go to prison. And I'm going to stand on that. If we find out someone who has come forward and said that X, Y, and Z happened to me, and A, B, and C did it, and we find out that you're lying, whether you are a man, okay, woman, trans man, okay, you got to go to prison. Because that's what would have happened if they thought that the person who you accused of doing whatever you said did to you, if they found them guilty, they will probably be going to prison too. Probably. You know, sometimes when, let me shut up. So you got to go. You got to go. My problem with this is the dilemma that I have when people come forward with certain claims. When the guy came forward, what was his name? The producer, Lil Rod. Remember, he came forward and said that Puffy did this to me, and then I think he even threw Cuba Gooding Jr.'s name in the document, right? But then he also supplied pictures, and there was a picture of two men um, having sex, and he said that one of the guys in the picture was Stevie J. And then come to find out, the person in the picture was not actually Stevie J. It was a gay PORN star. And I think his name, I think he goes by the name of Knockout. I think it was Knockout in the picture. So you have submitted this information and you have included pictures and you have said that this is the person in this picture. And then we find out that the person that you said was in that picture, it wasn't even that person. So at that point, I do have to question everything that you have said. Because you, in a court document, submitted this information. I just believe that if you are going to come forward, especially when you are saying that these rich, powerful people have done something to you, you have to make sure that your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. Girl, you need to make sure that every punctuation in the document is correct. When Cassie said that I basically got my ass whooped at the Intercontinental Hotel, right? And then the footage came out of Diddy stomping her in the hallway. Girl, she was right. It wasn't no inconsistency. It was a hotel, and what she said happened, happened. And where she said it happened, happened. So I just think you have to be, you just have to be, you just have to be on your P's and Q's. Because you have to know that when you accuse somebody like a Jay-Z, a Diddy, whomever it may be, the story is going to be picked up. And everybody is going to be discussing it. From girl mainstream media to the hood outlets, down to the YouTube, down to the Tik to the Talk, down to the X, Twitter, girl, BGC Live, girl, Jacked, Grinder, girl, A for A. Girl, the girl's gonna be having conversations about it. Autistic and all. If they find out that woman told a lie, girl, she needs to be dealt with. And possible prison time should also be on the table. Because prison time would be a possibility if Jay-Z was found out to be guilty and he was actually innocent. Now, again, I don't know. I wasn't there. Okay? I was in high school. So I don't know what happened. We know that in some essay cases, girl, the law does kind of tap some of the girls on the wrist, especially if you look a certain way. If you look like this, you might just get a tap on the wrist. We've heard stories. Um, I think that in Jay-Z's case, girl, some of y'all gonna get upset at what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna say it anyways. I think that when you live a certain life, you can't be shocked that somebody is knocking on your door. I do believe that, just like somebody mentioned in the comment section, I read the comments. You can be a non-violent criminal, right? Just because you decide to be a street pharmacist and ruin the community, that doesn't mean that you're out here essaying folks and R-ing folks and, shooting up folks' houses and all that. But I do believe that in Jay-Z's case, when you think about the things that Jay-Z has said that he's done, from dope slanging, and then when you think about Jay-Z and the people that he has chosen to be friends with professionally and personally, the people that he chooses to associate himself with, party with, hang out with, right? When you think about the stories that we've heard, and it could just be rumors, him being connected to Foxy Brown sexually, allegedly, him supposedly looking at Beyonce saying that he done had his eye on her since she was 16 years old. The way they say that they had Aaliyah floating up and through that building, allegedly. Aaliyah was grown, though. Grown. All I'm saying is when you choose to go down a certain path in life, they teach us this from a very young age. And we all know it to be facts. Be careful of your friend circle. Be careful of who you decide to hang out with. Birds of a feather flock together. You are the company that you keep. Now, we know that not to be true in every scenario. We know that not to be facts in every scenario. But we do know that if a straight man was to hang out with some gay guys, people will say that he was gay. If girls were to hang around a known whore, they will say all the girls were whores. When you hang around people who have been accused of the R word and essaying folks and blowing up cars and mistreating people, don't be surprised when they say you're doing the same exact thing. Don't be surprised. Again, you have to keep in mind of the situations you put yourself in, the people who you choose to hang around. And it's just not, to me, when it comes to Jay-Z, it's just not, oh, he sold drugs. No, he did that, and there's a list of other things that they say he also did, and the people that he's chosen to be friends with. So you cannot act surprised that people are now putting your name in with the shit. It may not be right, but that's just the way it goes. That's why when you a hoe, you got to make sure everybody in the crew, girl, are secret hoes. Because when one hoe is outed, everybody is outed. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. This is not the first or the last time that Jay-Z's name is gonna be mentioned. And I think a lot of the girls and boys are scared because of what's happening to Diddy, and they should be. I do believe also that just because you could know someone and not really know someone. We've heard stories of people living these lives that people just did not know about. Right? I did not know that person was doing X, Y, and Z, and I do believe those scenarios can exist. But it is hard for me to believe, and I say this all the time. At your job, you hear things. You don't want no parts of it, but you hear things. You don't know if it's true, but you hear things. I don't think that, as small as Hollywood is, that Puffy was doing all of these things and no one thought or heard any of the stories. And yet and still, they still either wanted to attach themselves to Puffy because he was powerful and they wanted to see what they could get out of the situation, Y'all hear these stories. Y'all heard the stories at your job in Hollywood, like we hear the stories down to our jobs, whether it's downtown, Galleria, or wherever you work. Again, just keep in mind who you hang out with. Be careful of the company that you keep, because your name could be mixed in with the mess. Anyways, let's move on. That's all I really got to say about the whole Jay-Z situation. I don't feel sorry for Jay-Z if that's what y'all thinking. Hell no. Girl. Jay-Z a billionaire. He gonna be all right. Okay. One thing that I forgot to mention. It did cross my mind, and I had a conversation about this with one of my friends. You know, the other day when I was going on the whole rant about the parents in some of these cases, I think the parents need to be locked up. Yes. Um, a few of those parents that were over there tossing their daughters to R. Kelly need to be in prison. Okay. But back to this story with the alleged victim. Um, it did cross my mind, and again, I forgot to say this in the video. 13 years old, and you said that this horrific situation just happened to you, and then you called your father, and you say that someone basically they didn't give you no juice, or the juice that they gave you had something in it, alcohol or whatever. When you supposedly got in the car with your father, I guess it don't matter because the father is saying that he don't remember none of it. Girl, what are you talking about? Basically, what you talking about? Girl, I was at the house watching the game. Um, when you got in the car with your father allegedly, and you're 13 years old, and this horrible thing that you say happened just happened to you, and you're also drunk and God knows what else. Girl, he didn't see nothing was wrong with you. He didn't think nothing was off. You just got in the car and y'all just went home. I do believe that it is okay to ask questions. You know, there's a fine line between victim blaming, not believing the victims. Um, but I also think that it is okay to ask questions. That's the only way you're gonna get to the bottom of it, by asking questions. And that was one of the big questions that I had the other day. When your daddy picked you up and this situation that you claim had just happened to you, and you were drunk at 13, he didn't see anything was off with you when you got in the vehicle. Anyways, all right. I just wanted to come back and say that part. Okay. I just want to complain for just a few minutes. Chipotle. I'm not a big Chipotle person. Like Brittany, y'all know my friend Brittany. Shout out to Brittany. Brittany can eat Chipotle every day. Girl, like literally, she can eat Chipotle every day. Me, I go through spells. Like, that's how I am. Like, I have a big sweet tooth. That's what we call it, right? Where like sometimes I have a craving for like chocolates, and I will just eat chocolate all day, every day. And it'll just last. It could last for like a month, and then all of a sudden I'm burnt out, and I don't want to look at a piece of chocolate, right? I have this with cakes and all that, right? Anyways, so same thing with Chipotle. I go through my spells with Chipotle where I may go Chipotle crazy for like 2 weeks, and then I'll be done with Chipotle for like 8 or 9 months. Or I might just have a craving for it, but it's not a big I'm there every day situation. The other day I had a taste for Chipotle, and I was like, well, I'm gonna give me a little burrito. Then I got there, I was like, no, I'm gonna give me a bowl. And I think I've noticed this before, but I think I just kind of like, I didn't pay it any attention. I didn't think about it too long. Chipotle is so unsanitary and one step away from being disgusting and one step away from people getting sick. So I go in and I'm waiting in line and I go to the Chipotle Midtown on Louisiana. And it's right there by the AT&T. I'm giving the location. Okay, that's what we're doing today. In Houston, Midtown, um, on Louisiana by the AT&T, the Potbelly, the Starbucks, and that shopping center right there. So I go in, and the line wasn't too long. Sometimes that Chipotle is busy boots. I'm not gonna lie. There's a black girl in front of me, and then I turn around and it's this fine ass white cop. Ooh, girl. The white cop was fine as hell. He was bald headed. And I said, God damn. And I kept turning around. I was like, girl, I need to. And then I started telling myself, girl, you need to stop turning around because you know you was a big nigga. Girl, girl, no shade. Shout out to the white people. We love the decent white people. Girl, I'm like, girl, you know you's a big nigga, girl. You keep looking at this man, girl. He been threw you on the ground and girl put a bullet in the back of your skull. So I was like, let me stop looking at this white man. But he was fine as hell. And so, anyways, the guy, it was an Asian guy. He was at the, when you tell him what you want. I saw him. It was food. When I say the counter was a mess, and I was like, "Oh, girl, this is so." I was like, "Oh, this is so messy." And I remember at one point, I think I've told this story before. At one point, I stopped going to that Chipotle because I felt like there was a lot of young kids that worked. They just looked really, really young. And I remember just walking in one day, and the counter was just a mess. I was like, "Girl, y'all not gonna clean up?" Like I saw corn in the sour cream. Girl, it was the green sauce and the red sauce. Girl, I saw the steak and the chicken. Like, girl, because it's like they just be trying to move so fast, but like, okay. So I stopped. I was like, girl, this is like, I see why it's a mess because y'all are young and y'all don't know how to like move with urgency, but also, girl, not cross contaminate. Okay. So I see the guy. They have, they wear their gloves. He gets his hand and then he brushes off the food off the counter onto the floor. I'm just looking like, oh. And I've noticed that they don't change their gloves. Like at Subway, when you go to Subway, they change their gloves after every customer. Okay. I want to say after every sandwich, but I know it's after every customer they change their gloves. And so then the girl in front of me got a burrito. And so he grabbed the burrito and then he did what he did. And I was just thinking, girl, you just finished wiping off that counter. That's what I'm thinking in my head. Girl, you just finished wiping off that counter with your hand, and then you grab this burrito. You grab the tortilla. I was like, that's a little nasty. And so I was like, I don't want no tortilla. I want a bowl. So I was like, I'm getting a bowl because I don't want because you ain't changed your gloves. You ain't like you touching all the you touching this dirty counter and you wiping off the food from the counter. Like I'm like that's trifling. And I get a bowl. And I get some brown rice. Girl, you got to get double chicken because the girls be real stingy. Even though they said they're increasing portions, they lying. I get double chicken. I get pinto beans. I got some corn, and then I got some cheese. So I get to the end, and it's this Hispanic guy, and he literally is just like it almost looked like he was cleaning off the counter with his hand. Girl, like it's not like not brushing the stuff off, but it looked like he was just like cleaning the counter with his hand. Now he had on his gloves. And so I'm sitting here looking and he puts my cheese on my bowl and then he went to clean it off the counter. And the girl was in front of me checking out. And then somebody walked in and they had to pick up an order. So I'm just standing there so I'm standing there looking like this. The line is not moving because they're trying to take care of what they're taking care of. And so I guess he thought that I was looking like maybe I wanted something else. He was like, would you like anything else, sir? Do you want some queso, some guac, some chili? I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm thinking in my head, use a nasty motherfucker because I just saw you basically clean off this counter with your whole hand, and now you touching bags and you touching people's food. And I'm like, girl, this is so gross. Girl. Now I did eat my food because I'd already paid. Girl, that food was like $15. But girl, I'm thinking in my head, this is nasty. This is nasty. This counter is a hot ass mess. I see sour cream everywhere, and then it was to the point I took a picture. Do I still have the picture? I think I took a picture. I'm gonna look at my phone. My top for my bowl, girl. When I tell you, it was just like you could just see the smear, like the when he closed it, you could see like the residue from his hand, the gloves, the food, just all on the top. You could see like sour cream on the side. Like, girl, Chipotle, y'all are disgusting. And I know it's just not that location. Y'all need to do a better job at changing your gloves. You need to do a better job at cleaning off that counter. Yes, you need to move with urgency because it's still considered fast food, but you also need to move with urgency and just to be a little bit careful. Girl, y'all have food everywhere. Girl, I'm seeing all types of food in other in different bins, different containers. Girl, y'all wiping off the counters, touching tortillas and cheese and lettuce. Girl, y'all doing all of this in one swoop. You grabbing bags, lettuce, cheese, wiping off the counter, all with the same pair of gloves on. Y'all don't. Is that? Am I just complaining just to complain? Or am I? Because I feel like, listen, listen. I'm not this OCD germaphobe. I have to have stuff spick and span because sometimes my apartment be a mess. But I know nasty when I see nasty, and I know trifling when I see trifling, and I know dirty when I see dirty, and I know unacceptable when I see unacceptable. And I just think that Chipotle, they need to do a better job because it's unacceptable. Again, with all the stuff that I saw happen on that line. That's all I got to say. Chipotle, do better. All right. Nasty motherfucker. All right, girl, let's move on. Baby, listen to this. So, this is according to TMZ. Jamie Foxx needed stitches after dinner altercation. Glass was thrown at him. So, Jamie Foxx was allegedly in a fight in the dining room of Mr. Chow Friday night, and he may have been injured, TMZ has learned. Law enforcement tells us police were called to the popular high-end Beverly Hills restaurant around 10 p.m. on the report of a fight inside. For the moment, details are murky, but we are told by police sources that Jamie was involved in the alleged altercation. However, he was gone by the time police arrived. An assault report was taken, and Jamie's name is listed as a party involved in whatever went down. So police will be reaching out to him. A witness of the alleged fight said that Jamie may have been hurt, but if that's true, he did not stick around for medical attention. We know Jamie was at a hot spot with his family because he was snapped going in with his daughters Corinne and Annalise Fox and his former partner Kristen Granis. Don't forget, we chatted with Jamie at Mr. Chow's earlier this week for another celebration following the release of his Netflix special. We haven't reached out. We have reached out to Jamie's team for more info. So far, no word back. Now, this was updated also. I had two updates. Okay. So the first update was at 10:59, and this was on 12:14. A spokesperson for Jamie tells TMZ Jamie Foxx was at his birthday dinner when someone from another table threw a glass that hit him in the mouth. He had to get stitches and is recovering. The police were called, and the matter is now in law enforcement hands. They also had another update at 12:04 p.m. A witness to the incident tells TMZ customers at another table were being rude and vulgar to Jamie. He asked them to stop since his family was present, which is when someone at the table allegedly threw the glass that hit him in the face. That one, Jamie. I need you to just stay in your house, cause girl, you was almost half-ass gone to glory just a few months ago, and now you getting your ass hit in the face with a piece of glass. Girl, just stay in the house. I think that might be like the downside of being a celebrity, because girl, I just don't see. Girl, at this point, girl, you might as well join Real Housewives of Potomac and be over there with Deborah and Kay fighting and throwing glasses at the club. Girl, I don't fight. I don't argue. I just hit that bitch with a bottle. I just don't see me getting hit in the face with some glass and girl, us not turning that restaurant upside down. Girl, the way we would have been moving furniture, girl, you're not gonna hit me in the face with nothing, girl, but some glass. Now, girl, I ain't no top model. Girl, I just think I'm a handsome, average-looking man. Girl, I'm cute. But girl, you're not gonna hit me in my face now. Okay? You're not throwing nothing at me. Girl, we're gonna have to fight. We gonna have to thump. Girl, that's just what it is. We just gonna have to thump. And I'm gonna have to just deal with whatever lawsuit comes. And that's the thing, like, you just have to leave. Because if Jamie Foxx would have fought, he probably would have got sued, right? Not to say he would have lost, but you don't even want to go down that road because they probably knew it was Jamie Foxx. So let's see if I can get some money out of it. You know, people are trifling. Shout out to Jamie for having enough self-control by removing himself from the situation. Girl, let's just go. Because I don't know if I would have had that self-control. Girl, we would have been fighting. And I know me and some of my family members, we would have been thumping. Just all together. Get him! Get him! Get him! Get him! Okay, girl, we would have been thumping in that restaurant, girl, windmilling and throwing shit. Do you hear me? Girl, we would have been in jail that night. Because you ain't hitting me in the face. Girl, you ain't hitting me nowhere. Don't put your hands on me. Okay? Anyways. All right, I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good night. Bye, y'all.